Warm greeting, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the relationship between a banker and customer in a banking transaction. Okay. So the subject which we are discussing is the banking regulations and operations. So in this, we are going to discuss about relationship between the banker and customer. Here the relationship is divided into two broad categories. One is general relationship, another one is special relationship. Under general relationship, we are having two types. One is primary basis, another one secondary basis. Under primary basis, we are having a two kind of relationship between a banker and customer. That is creditor debtor relationship and debtor creditor relationship. Under secondary basis, we have four categories, four types. This bank as a trustee, principal agent relationship, bailiff bailey relationship, and debtor lessee relationship. So these are the types we are having in general relationship between a banker and customer. So we are going to discuss one by one in this particular session. So first, primary relationship. Under that, the first relationship is creditor-debtor relationship. Under creditor-debtor relationship, a banker and customer is having two kinds of transactions. Okay, one kind of transaction is the customer will deposit their money in the bank. For that, they'll get some marginal interest rate. In turn, in some kind of customers are that they'll get a loan from the bank. Okay, in that the banker will get the interest rate from the customer. So these two kind of transactions generally are there in the banking business. Okay, so based on the nature of the businesses, we are defining those relationships. And a creditor-debtor relationship, the customer is the creditor and the bank is the debtor. In the sense, customer will deposit their money in the bank, so they will be called as creditor, and the banker is getting money from the customer that they will do for the purpose of lending to the another customer. So the money which is deposited by the customer will earn some interest rate in particular time duration. Okay, so in this particular relationship, the banker is the debtor since they are getting money from the customer. And the customer is the creditor since they are depositing the money or they are giving their money to the bank. So this particular relationship is called a creditor-debtor relationship. So second type under primary basis is a debtor-creditor relationship. Under debtor-creditor relationship, the customer is a debtor and the banker is a creditor. Why we are saying like this? In the sense, the customer will borrow the money from the bank. The banker will lend money to the customer for some interest rate. So in this relationship, generally all kinds of loans will come under this relationship. Since the customer is borrowing some money from the banker, they are called as debtor. Since the bank is giving some money to the customer, they are called as creditor. So this particular relationship is called as debtor-creditor relationship. So next type is bank as a trustee. So these are all secondary relationships. So why we are telling this primary and secondary business? That primary transaction is a common transaction in all kinds of banking businesses. The secondary is not a primary purpose of the banking. Okay, so some additional services are done by the bank. So those are all categories as a secondary relationship between the banker and customer. Okay, here it is a trustee. So the bank is acting as a trustee for the asset of the customer. Okay, in some cases, whenever, for example, if you are getting some loans for our securities by giving some securities, those securities will be under the trusteeship of the bank. Okay, so in that sense also we can tell them the trustee. In some cases, the banks are protecting or safeguarding the assets of the customer. Okay, so whenever you are getting some lockers, in those cases you will be safeguarding your assets over there, jewelries or any other kind of valuables you can safeguard under the custody of the bank. So they will be calling as a trustee for the assets of the customer. So this relationship is called as bank as a trustee. So next relationship is called as agent-principal relationship. In this relationship, bank is acting as an agent for the customer. The customer is called as principal and bank is called as agent. Okay, why we are calling this is in generally You might be studying, you might be come across under business law. There is a relationship called principal and agent. Listen, whatever the command is given by the principal, that will be executed by the agent. The same way, whatever the command is given by the customer, what either it may be transacting some money from the customer account to some other account, or clearing the checks of the customer, or demand draft. So whatever it may be the banking instrument, if it is given by the customer, it is the duty of the banker to execute it as per the order, as per the given order of the customer. So this particular relationship is called agent and principal relationship. So whatever the regulations are there under agent principal relationship under Indian Contract Act 1872, all will be applicable to this agent principal relationship. If there is any problem in the execution of checks, clearing of checks, or demand draft, or any other banking instrument, that can be claimed under Indian Contract Act 1872 by the customer, because that particular transaction is executed under this particular act only. So this particular relationship is called as agent principal relationship. So next type of relationship is a bailor-bailee relationship. So under bailor-bailee relationship, already we discussed, the customer, whenever they are asking for any a loan, they will be required to give some securities for the loan they ask. So those securities will be safeguarded by the bank, okay, under the custody of the bank. So once the amount is repaid, they'll be giving it back. Okay, so this it will be under the bailment of the banker. So this relationship is called a bailor-bailee relationship. Okay, so the person who is delivering the goods is called as bailor. The person who is getting the delivery is called as bail. Okay, so the banker is the bailor who is giving back the securities to the customer, and the customer is the bail. Okay, so this relationship is called a bailor-bailee relationship. So next type of relationship is under the secondary category, lessor-lessee relationship. So we already come across that a customer is having the facility of locker in the bank. Locker facilities will be provided to the customer by the bank. Okay, so it's based on the those particular things will be discussed later. What are the procedures to get the locker facilities and all. So that time, customer will be paying some money for that that facility. However, the bank is leasing some space of that organization to the customer. For that, they will get some money. So that leasing leasing process is there in the banking sector. So that because of that, this relationship is called a lessor-lessee relationship. Banker who is leasing the space of the organization to the customer is called as lessor. The customer who is taking the lease of the space of the banking organization is called as lessee. So this particular relationship is called as lessor-lessee relationship. Okay. So next, these are all primary general relationships. Okay, primary and secondary relationships are called as general relationship. Apart from that, some special relationships are there, which is taken care by the bank. Okay, in due course of the technological advancement of the bank, they are apart from normal transactions, the banks are undertaking some other businesses. Okay, so those are called a special relationship. Okay, so that special relationship we'll be discussing in the upcoming session. Okay, thank you, students. Thank you for your patience listening.